Hey, this is J Rob with J Rob Sports Shop talking to you about three topics on my mind right now. And I haven't done this in a minute, kind of laid off because I was too busy focused on work. But I love doing this. I need to make sure I get back at it because I love sports and I love talking about it. And I have an opinion, apparently. So I'm talking about three topics right now. I'm going to talk about Lamar Jackson. Talk about how his play, his contract. Talk about that. He's got a little opinion on that. Probably a little bit different than a lot of y'all's. The Buffalo Bills. Not but just because it's the Buffalo Bills, because it's my favorite team. I got something to say about that loss we had over the weekend, and I want to talk about that. And last but not least, I want to talk about Penny Hardaway and the Tigers. They just got a violation in NCAA. They finally got taken care of, and I want to talk about that and give you my opinion on that as well. But let's start off with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson has been on a tear this year. Looks like the best player to ever touch a football at quarterback. Well, not exactly, but he looks very good. But don't you find it crazy that every time a quarterback or running back or receiver is up for a contract extension, they have their best year? It seems like that happens a lot. Look at Chris Johnson with the Tennessee Titans. Dak had a really good year. Zeke had a really good year with the Cowboys. And then the next year they fall off. Why is that? Why do we as players, and I'm not the player, but why do players that win this contract year, they can muster up that year, then it's like a downhill. Not with everyone, but with a lot of them. Cowboys are in trouble. I think they shouldn't have gave Dak that much money. Same thing with Ezekiel Elliott. It's hurt the other parts of the team when you spend on one player, not the others. He's not Tom Brady. He's not the GOAT. He's not Aaron Rodgers. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not those type of players. But I know there wasn't much availability. Everybody say, like, that's all they had left. But you don't have an offensive line now because of that. You can only throw so good if your line will block for you. You had to have receivers to throw to. Same thing with running. You only can do as good as your offensive line can block for you to help. You can only make so much happen. If you're a running quarterback, eventually you'll get knocked off, a.k.a. Cam Newton, who fell off, Ben Roethlisberger, who had a great career for a long time, and so did Cam Newton. Love both quarterbacks, but hits take a toll, and I'm worried about that with Josh Allen as well. So what I'm saying is this, and everybody's like, oh, man, he's going to get paid. He's going to get paid. Great. Would I do it? No, I would not. Not because Lamar Jackson's not an amazing player. He's an amazing dude. I would have paid the guy, but I would also pay the guy. I'm a big fan of paying as we play. Like they'll say, well, what about if he gets injured? Yeah, what about if he does get injured? What about if those owners spend $20 million on someone? Not 20. He's going way more than that. He's going probably $200 million. But then he can't play because of an injury. Then they're just still paying it. It hurts the whole team. And we're focused on him and his money, but what about the other players that could be playing the NFL, could be playing on that team, but he's not playing at all? I'm not saying he shouldn't get some money if that happens. I'm all big, like, save your money for retirement. But if you make fucking $10 million, and that's a lot less than what he's going to be making, and you can't invest that in something to make some money out of that, we got to get you some. We got to work more on not just getting bigger contracts, but making the advisors better in the league, get them set up for success so they can make money outside of football and basketball and other sports like Shaq has, Jordan has, LeBron's doing that now. There's a lot of athletes are doing better with that now, but we need to focus on setting them up for success, not just during their tenure there. So that's my opinion on Lamar Jackson. Now, if he's not great, I wouldn't pay him the max contract. I'm afraid of running quarterbacks, not because I don't love watching them. I'm a Josh Allen fan. I love watching him, but I wish he would stop running so much, and I'm afraid that it's going to be a fall. And also, a lot of times when you give all that money, you don't have money to pay anybody else. And then, what if he does get injured? I get, everybody's like, what about the player? What about the owners and the other players? I know people are always against the owners and against the coaches and everything else, but what about the other players? If you don't want to talk about the owners, what about the other players that need to get paid as well, but they can't because their guy's injured? I think we should set them up for success, still get them paid a little bit, but not as much, in my opinion, when it comes to something like this. Very few players deserve that, and I think it takes some more time because everybody can be. There's been, especially in the running back position. Whew, that's really rough. All right, that's one. I hope that makes sense to you. I hope you guys, some of you agree with me, some of you don't. Let me know. I don't hate you for it. I just like talking about it. Number two, I'm going to talk about the Buffalo Bills versus Miami. By the way, if you don't know already, I'm a big Buffalo Bills fan. I went to the game Monday night in Buffalo, and I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. And I had a great time. But the Buffalo Bills, they just screwed the pooch. The Buffalo Bills, I think, are 0-6 or 0-7 in tight games with Josh Allen. That's my biggest fear of Josh Allen, and not that he didn't have a great game, but somehow couldn't make it happen. There was a mess up at the end of the second quarter, right before we get to halftime, where he fumbled the ball, couldn't get it to spike it, so except for a field goal. Didn't get that field goal there. That field goal there wins the game. We win by 1, right? Our players got a lot of them got cramps. I know they're not used to it, and some Bills fans, and I'm not one of them. I don't like to blame referees ever, and not the referee's fault. We should have won that game. We doubled them every stat. Am I worried? No, I'm not worried at all. I'm always pessimistic on my teams. I'm always scared that we're one injury away. We're depleted on defense. We are not we're not super healthy, but no team will be. So we got to get over that. But I'm not worried because I do think we'll be better because of this. I think some losses make teams better. I didn't want us to go 7-0. God, because if you do that, you start getting cocky, thinking you beat everybody. I don't want that life. I want us to lose a couple in the middle of the season and then peak at the end. I thought we were better than Miami. As much as I love Tua, and I love Tyreek Hill a little bit. He kind of upsets me now because I feel like he always gets the best of us. Tua probably should not have been playing that game. I'm glad he was okay. I never want to see a player get injured. The man looked like, for sure, I'm no doctor, but if I thought there was a video of a concussion, I thought I saw it when we tried to get up. They can lie all they want to and say it was his back and his ankles, and Tua can too, but that's how the NFL got in the position they are in now, where players are suing them, players are getting hurt. You got to protect the players from themselves. And speaking as being like a former player, not on that level, I would have done the same thing. I would have wanted to play in the game no matter what it all costs, but you got to start protecting better because that's why they got precautions in play. And it was a shame to see him come back if he doesn't really have a concussion, which I think most people believe he had a concussion. So that sucks if that happened, but I hope he's recovered by next week, and I hope the guy does great. I don't hate nobody, man. I don't hate the other teams ever. I want all the teams to do good. I just want Buffalo to do better, and I don't want anybody getting hurt. I want all these players to get good paychecks. I want them to keep doing it because I love sports so damn much. I want Buffalo Bills to be in the Super Bowl. And I do want them to beat everybody, but I do want other teams to be safe and have fun as well. And I want to know what you guys think. Did he have a concussion? Was his back? What do you really think? I don't know one person I've talked to that said they believe it was his back that made him wobble like that. So that leaves me with the last one, but not least. It's Penny Hardaway and Memphis Tigers. I'm going to talk about that because I'm a homer in Memphis, and I think this is the reason. I got it pulled up here a little bit. This is the reason why the NCAA is falling apart. Apparently, they got upset with Penny. They said Penny Hardaway violated NCAA rules by helping James Wiseman transfer to Memphis when he was an AAU coach, not a Memphis coach. Paid like $11,000 and $12,000 to help him move back to Memphis because it was the kid he cared about. Which is, I don't see nothing wrong with that, to be honest with you. He wasn't a Memphis coach yet, but he also the very next year I think donated to the University of Memphis $1 million to help them build their new like Hall of Fame gymnasium or something like that. Don't quote me on all this, but I know it's about to give you an idea. And so all they found him guilty of was some minor violations, gave him a 3-year ban, probation, and they take him about 25% of their men's basketball budget. But it's weird to me that like teams like Memphis seem to always, and I am playing the like sappy or victim role here, seem to get caught and seem to get busted for this. But these big programs never do this. I don't see anything wrong with what Penny Hardaway did. He wasn't a coach of Memphis. He didn't know he was going to be coach of Memphis. He gave the kid some money, $11,000. Not that I'm rich and think $11,000 is cheap, but the man has so much money. If he really wanted to play at Memphis, he'd have given him a lot more than $11,000, right? If he knew he was going to be the coach, he'd done a lot more than that. He's just a caring, good dude. And I'll be critical of Penny with his coaching, but as a person, he's a model citizen, a model person, and I hope nothing but the best. I want that man to succeed. I love him to death, not just because I'm from Memphis, but because I see what he is as a man. And this is why the NCAA is struggling. This is why they got the name, image, and likeness deal, which I think is ruining sports. I can do that on another one in college. I don't like college as much because of that. But they had to do something to get away from the NCAA because they are picking on certain programs and they act like the big bully in the room, the big old man bully in the room. They can control everything. And if the money's not going in their pocket, they get upset about it. So that's what I think about that. Tell me if you guys agree on that. I do think that that all these topics here are amazing to me, but some of them might be boring to you. If you have something you want me to talk about, let me know. But that's the ones I'm talking about now. I want you guys to have fun, love sports, let it bring you together. Don't let it pull you apart. We're more alike than what the media wants us to be. We love each other. We love our teams, and we want them to win. All right, have a great day, and let's go get results, baby.